Hello friends, welcome to lecture number 3 of unit number 5, Web Security. Myself Nikul Jaiswal, lecturer in Computer Engineering, Sri KJ Polytechnic, Bharuch. So let's have a quick recap of our previous lecture. So in the previous lecture we have discussed the intrusion detection system. So it is also called as the IDS. So IDS system monitors the network traffic, and from the behavior or from the signature it will identify whether the intrusion is present or not. If any malicious activity has been detected by the IDS, then it will alert the user of the system or the network administrator. So there are basically two approaches for the IDS. First is signature based and second is anomaly based. So in the signature based IDS, the IDS will look for the particular pattern or the signature to identify the malicious activities on the network. And in the anomaly based IDS system, the IDS system will monitor the behavior of the network, and based on the behavior it will identify whether the network has the normal behavior or abnormal behavior. If it find the abnormal behavior of the network, then uh, alert the network administrator for the potential malicious activities. So there are basically two types of IDS system. First is HIDS, that is also called as a host based IDS system, and second is the NIDS, that is network based IDS system. So host based IDS system will try to identify the intrusion for the particular host, and in the case of NIDS it will try to identify the intrusion for the particular network. So in today's lecture we will first discuss the web security consideration. After that we will discuss the web security threats, so different threats that are present for the web. And after that we will discuss the web traffic security approaches, so different approaches to deal with the web traffic security. So let's start with the first topic, that is web security consideration. So World Wide Web is the fundamentally a client server application running over the internet and TCP/IP intranet. So basically in the World Wide Web, whenever we visit any website, then the website will be hosted on the server, and as a client we will access that website. So basically the World Wide Web is a client server application. So web is basically running on the internet by using the TCP/IP protocol suites. So the web is vulnerable to attack on the web server over the internet. So it is possible that some of the attackers will attack the web servers. The web is increasingly serving as a highly visible outlet for the corporate and product information, and as a platform for business transactions. So right now, in current scenario, websites are serving as a highly visible outlet and for the corporate and product information. So many of the corporate will use the website for their visible of the outlet for the corporate and for the product information, and it will also use the websites as a platform for the business transactions. So reputations can be damaged and money can be lost if the web servers are subverted. So if any corporate provide the online online information and online transactions for the business, then reputation can be damaged and money can be lost if the web server are attacked. Although web browsers are very easy to use, web services are relatively easy to configure and manage. So all we know that web browsers are very easy to use and maintain, and web servers are also relatively very easy to configure. But the web content is increasingly easy to develop, and underlying software is extraordinarily complex. So it is also very easy to develop the web contents, but the underlying software which hosts the websites are very complex. So this complex software may hide many potential security flaws. As the complexity of the softwares are higher, then there may be possible there are several potential security flaws that can be present on the complexity of the software. A web server can be exploited as a launching pad into the corporations or agencies' entire computer complex. So it may be possible that organization will have the separate web server in the network, and that web server can be exploited uh, to make the web to the particular corporate agency's computer network. Then once the web server is subverted, an attacker may be able to gain the access to data and system not part of the web itself but connected to the server at the local site. So in the many of the scenario, web server will be hosted on this on the particular server, and on that particular server many services also are running. So if any attacker attack the web server, then if the web server is if the attacker can handle the web server effectively, then he will also be able to gain some confidential information that has been stored on that web server, or they can also have some information that has been running on that particular web server also. So one way to group this threat is in terms of passive and active attack. So now we will discuss the web security threats. So we can group the web security threats into two terms. First is passive and active attack. So we have already gone through types of attack, which is passive and active attacks. In the passive attack, we will only monitor the traffic, which type of traffic is passing through the network, and the active attack, actual damage can be done to the computer system. So passive attacks include the eavesdropping on network traffic between the browser and server and gaining access to information on the website that is supposed to be restricted. So by using the passive attack, some of the passive attack will help the attacker to identify the information that is supposed to be restricted from the websites. Then active attack include the impersonating another user, alerting messages in transit between the client and server, and altering the information on the website. So confidential information can be gained through the active attack, and the integrity also can be compromised by using the active attack. Another way to classify the web security threat is terms of location of the threat, web server, web browser, and network traffic between the browser and server. So we can also classify the web security threats based on the location of the threat. Web server can be a potential threat for the your whole computer network, then web browser can be a potential threat for the whole computer network. So issues of server and browser security falls into the category of computer system security. So these are the particular web security threats that can attack on the particular parameter. So on the left side, you can see the parameters, integrity and confidentiality. We will discuss another parameters in the next slide. So here on the column, you can see the first column, you can see the threats, then the consequences of the threat and the countermeasure to deal with that threat. So these are the potential threat that can break the integrity. So the first is modification of the user data, then Trojan horse browser, then modification of memory and modification of message traffic in transit. So these are the threats that will break the integrity of the network or the information. Now, what will be the consequences of this threat? So, loss of the information can be done, then compromise of the machine can be done by these threats, and vulnerability to all other threats can be happen by using these threats. Now, countermeasure. So, how will you deal with this threat? So, cryptographic and checksums can be used to eliminate this type of threat. So, modification of data cannot be done if we use the hash value, that is also called as a checksum. Then modification of message cannot be done if we use the cryptographic encryption and decryption method. Now next is threats for the confidentiality. So eavesdropping on the net, that is keep track on the network for identifying the useful information. Then theft of info from server, so theft the information from the server, then theft of data from the client, then info about network configuration, then info about which client talks to server. So these are the threats for the confidentiality parameter. And what are the consequences of this threat? The first is loss of information and loss of privacy. Now, what will be the countermeasure for these threats? We can use the encryption decryption methodology, and we can also use the web proxies. So, if we use the web proxies, then nobody can identify that which client is talking to which server. Next parameter is denial of service. So that is basically a availability. So what are the threats that can be performed to break the availability? Then killing of that is killing of user threads, then flooding machine with bogus request, then filling up disk on memory and isolating machines by DNS attack. So these are the potential threat that can be break the availability. Now what will be the consequences of these threats? First is disruptive, then it will be annoying. That means if any legitimate user want to access some information but the information is not available, so it will be annoying. Then prevent user from getting the work done, so most of the user will not be able to identify the useful information and then work can may not be done. So countermeasures, so there is difficulty to prevent for the denial of service attacks. Next is authentication, so impersonating of legitimate user, that means an unauthorized user will tell the system that he is authorized user, so that will be called as impersonating of legitimate user. And data forgery, so what will be the consequences? That is misinterpretation of the user, then believes that false information is valid. So this will be the consequences of this threat. And what are the countermeasures? We can use the cryptographic technique to deal with this type of threat. Clear? So this was all about the web security threats. Now next is web traffic security approaches. So these are the approaches that can be taken to deal with the web traffic security. So number of approaches to providing the web security are possible. The various approaches that have been considered are similar in the service they provide, and to some extent it is in the mechanism they are used. So there are various approaches are available for the web traffic security, and most of the approaches are the same, and the mechanism of the all the approaches are same. So basically we will see the three approaches for the web traffic security, but they differ with respect to their scope of applicability and their relative location within the TCP/IP protocol stack. That means there are various approaches are available. Some of the approaches will work on the network layer. That means as per the example IPsec that we have seen in the previous unit, so IPsec will work on the network layer. Then we have SSL, secure socket layer, that will work on the TCP/IP stack. And we have several application based mechanism also like Kerberos, so that will work on the application layer. So approaches of the web traffic securities are the same, but the scope of the web traffic security approaches will be the different. So one way to provide the web security is to use the IP security that we have already discussed in the previous unit. So IP security is the major tool that will help us to protect the web traffic from the different threats. So the advantage of using the IPsec is that it is transparent to end user and application and provides a general purpose solution. So this is the major advantage of IPsec, that is it is transparent to the end user, everybody can use it, it is open source and application and provides user and it will also provide the general purpose solution for the web traffic security. IPsec includes a filtering capability so that only selected traffic need incur the overhead of IPsec processing. So this is the basic IPsec mechanism. So IPsec basically works on the network layer, and this will provide the encryption and decryption mechanism for the web traffic security. And so this is the major approach that we can use for the web traffic security mechanism. Another relatively general purpose solution to implement the security just about TCP, that is foremost example of this approach is secure socket layer. We will discuss the secure socket layer, how the secure socket layer will work in the next lecture, but this is the another approach that can be used for the web traffic security and follow on the internet standard known as the transport layer security. So secure socket layer is the actual approach that can be used, and transport layer security is the implementation of the secure socket layer. So at this level there are two implementation choice for full generality. SSL, or it is also called as a TSL, could be provided as a part of underlying protocol suite and therefore be transferred into application. So for the TCP/IP, we can also use the SSL and TSL, and it will also be transparent for the applications. So this is the layout of the secure socket layer. It will walk above the transport level, and it will provide the encryption decryption for the transport layer. Next approach is based on the application. So application specific security services are embedded with the particular application. So for the different application, we can have the separate mechanism to provide the web traffic security. So the advantage of this approach is that the service can be tailored to the specific need of the given application. That means based on the application requirement, we can take the approach for the web traffic security. So this is the basic application based traffic security approach. So this will work on the application level. So you can see here the Kerberos. So Kerberos is the authentication system that we have discussed in the previous lecture. So for the particular authentication mechanism, we can use the Kerberos. Then you can see here SMIME, that is a secure multi-purpose internet mail exchange protocol. So that will also help us to provide the security for the email services. So for the particular different services, we can have the different approaches for the application level. So this was all about the web traffic security approaches. I hope you did understand all the topics that has been discussed in this video lecture. Thank you so much.